Hey you guys. Hey everyone. Happy Wednesday. I think today is Wednesday. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Oh no, I'm so sorry, Alicia, but we'll be glad to have you back. I hope you get all that situated. So we're gonna be talking about the Quentin Simon case again. Um Last night some rumors started swirling about Billie Joe and Leilani being spotted at this bar. People started posting it on Twitter and Facebook, and immediately people was like, "That's just a rumor. It's not confirmed. That's just a rumor. It's not confirmed." But it looks like it has been confirmed now, you guys. Several people have actually posted. Well, there's some pictures that's been posted. Now yesterday, if you watched Dolly on Dolly's Vision, his YouTube channel, he was posted up outside of the house. When the protest really started getting kind of loud, um, everyone in the house left. So yesterday was the first day, from my understanding, that there was actually a protest. Thank you, Alicia. That there was actually a protest. That was yesterday. People started showing up, people from the neighborhood. Now, Dolly's been there for some time. He's been there since the beginning. Just kind of walking around, every once in a while saying something like if Billy Joe was outside, but not really making like it causing a scene. But yesterday, people from the neighborhood started showing up. People that was watching Dolly and Bullhorn Betty started showing up. There was this one person that was getting really loud, yelling, screaming. Thank you, babe. And cursing. And Billy Joe came outside a couple of times, kind of yelling back at them. And when Billy Joe was outside, the man would yell things like "baby killer," "there's a murderer in that house." Obviously, this video comes with a trigger warning, so just be aware of that. We're talking about Quentin Simon, a baby that is a 20-month-old baby from Georgia that is presumed dead at the hands of his mother, and his body is allegedly in a landfill. So definitely a trigger warning. If you don't want to talk about this topic, I completely understand. Feel free to sit this one out, and you can join us on the next one. But yesterday, a protest really popped off, and it got a little wild. She did come outside. It got to the point where she called the police. The police did come, and they did tell everyone that was there to protest that you have to stay off the road. That there is a city ordinance, like you have to you just can't be out there causing a big scene because there are, neighbors, and you have to be respectful of that. I understand the anger. It's been 14 days. I get it as well. It's terrible to think that that little boy's body is still out there with the garbage. Honestly, I think this should make Leilani's sentence longer. Like the longer he stays out there, I would shoot for a longer sentence, a more harsher sentence if possible. And thank you, Shine. I appreciate you saying that. You were so sweet. Um, but things really got chaotic, and then vehicles showed up, and then vehicles left. And it was said that they thought everybody was leaving the house. I think Dolly even said, "Well, that's it. They've left. They're gone." And it seems like they went to Tybee Island. How far is that from where they live? Does anybody know? Does anybody know how far Tybee Island is? And that's like a tourist attraction, right? Because I've heard of that place before. But people are saying they went there. They have a hotel, and that last night, while the search and rescue team was wrapping up their first day of searching for little baby Quentin, Billy Joe and Leilani was spotted in a popular bar, um, taking shots and partying it up, you guys. Here is a photo that someone snapped of Leilani. As you guys can see, someone's kind of walking by with like a plate of food. Someone else is like, there's people on both sides, right? Tybee Island, where they from? They're from Savannah, Georgia, Sean. How can you go to a bar when your baby is in a landfill? Exactly. What the hell is wrong with you, Leilani? Like, what in the actual hell is wrong with you? Billy Joe is equally disgusting now, in my opinion, to see if this is true. And we know that they're there. Like, we know that they're there. This is allegedly in a bar. Shine, your mom is calling me. Can you let her know that I'm on a live stream, babe? Um, Baby, the people live in Savannah, Georgia. Which is, you remember I told you that I wanted to, that I wanted to go, that I wish I could go, that if it wasn't for like the kids and everything, that I would want to go. And you're like, oh yeah, I love Savannah. I wish we could go. Um, I am appalled at this, and there is also a photo of Billie Joe. Now, this is Billie Joe. This photo was taken by WSAV. So this photo right here was, from my understanding, as you guys can see, it says WSAV 3. So this is the news station. And this is her. As you guys can see, the little car, the little Dodge, whatever SUV that is, it says Tybee Island right there. And there's Billie Joe on her motorcycle. First off, if you are hiding because your daughter just killed your grandson, why the hell are you on a motorcycle anyways? You can be spotted very easily. Get in your vehicle. Borrow a vehicle from a family member that people don't know. I mean, right now, your vehicles, people in that area, they're looking at y'all, for y'all. If you're spotted, they're going to be taking pictures, sending them in to news stations. Why would you be on your motorcycle? But this allegedly, from my understanding, is around the area of the hotel that they're staying in. These photos, but as you guys can see, it says on the car Tybee Island. It says that it was taken by WSAV, the local, news. And then here we are with Leilani in the bar allegedly. Thank you. I love momming. I do too. Crime Time with Mal. Isn't it so disturbing? Is it not the most terrible thing possible? Okay, so I'm gonna do a quick search for Quentin Simon. Any updates on Twitter? Because a lot of times you can get some good updates on Twitter if you just type in the name and then hit the latest post. Quentin Simon aerial footage 1017 via YouTube. I think that's aerial footage maybe of the house potentially. Baby Quentin Simon is in the landfill while baby killer mom Leilani parties on Tybee Island, Georgia. What? Right. Casey Anthony's parents were exactly, yeah, they were actually heartbroken. I mean, at least they were devastated. While this woman is out partying with her daughter. The audacity of this woman. We found this is Brett Buffington, which is with a local news station at WSAV, and he says, we found Billie Joe Howe, Quentin Simon's grandmother, at the hotel across the street from that beach bar this morning. She told Tybee Island police that I was starting to annoy her. You want to know something, Billie Joe? I think you've annoyed everyone. I think you have annoyed the entire United States of America. Anyone that has heard about this story, you have annoyed them and you are sickening to them. That you can be at Tybee Island, at least, you know what? If I was going to be, if I was in this position and just say I was going to support my daughter through this, right? You got mental health problems, you did this, I don't want to lose my daughter, because that is some people's stance on it. I've lost my grandchild. I don't want to lose my child now. So I'm going to support her. I'm going to back her. I'm going to be there for her. Okay, whatever. Do that if you want to. What you should have done was got your daughter and took off to a hotel. You can't leave. I mean, you obviously can't leave Georgia. You probably don't need to leave Chatham County. I don't know if Tybee Island is in Chatham County, but you definitely can't leave Georgia due to the circumstances. But go to the most discreet hotel out there. Do not be partying it up while your grandbaby, the baby that you were responsible for protecting, lays in a landfill somewhere for the 14th day. There are men and women out there in hazmat suits searching for this baby's body. I mean, they're searching for the remains. Keep in mind, the remains of this baby he's not going to look like a baby when he is found. He has been out there 14 days. He has gone through various stages of decomposition. His body is not going to look good. And somebody is going to have to find that baby. Hopefully, we hope, that somebody finds his body. But think about what that's going to do to the person that does find that baby. And all these men and women that was gathered over the weekend, now these are professionals, they are going into this knowing, I might be the one that finds this baby. What it could do to them psychologically to see that baby like that. And then to think that the woman that was literally granted permission by a judge to protect that baby, take care of that baby, love that baby, raise that baby, is out partying, taking shots. What? You guys, if you are around kids, and I normally don't cuss on my channel, so earbuds, because I'm about to go off for a minute. She needs her ass whooped. That's what needs to happen. Leilani needs her ass whooped, and even more so Billie Joe, because at this point, I'm holding Billie Joe even more responsible at this point. And the reason why is because I could almost give you a little bit of credit, just a wee bit of credit, to be like, that is some people's, position on it, is they've lost their grandchild. Their other grandchildren have been taken away. They have one child in prison already. So you know what? I'm going to stand behind my daughter, and I'm going to try to be there, try to figure out what went wrong, and be her support before she goes to prison. Okay. All right. That's fine. Partying with her? I mean, y'all, this makes me want to get in my car and go to Georgia to look for these people. And I would catch a charge for it. I mean, my goodness, I am blown away that this woman, I looked at her TikTok a while back. It wasn't too long ago. Obviously, it was after all this. And I got the feeling, she works a lot. I can give her credit for working, holding down a job to try to provide. When she was at the babysitter's house, that's what she said. When the babysitter said, I told you, I called you before, telling you that they were in the ditch. And she said, I was trying to provide for them. But you know what else she was doing? Like, when she was off working, there were plenty of videos of her on her TikTok where she would get off work and she would be in the bar. She would be in these biker bars and hanging out with different guys. And while these two children that was placed in her care was at home with Leilani, who was already deemed unable to care for them. A judge already said, she is not capable of taking care of these two kids. We're going to give them to you. Billie Joe should have stepped up and said, hey, I can't because I travel a lot. I go out of town for work. Let's contact their fathers. Let's contact their grandparents on their paternal side because I travel too much. And, Billie Joe said in one of the first interviews that she even did, I don't know if I could trust her. Sometimes she is good, but sometimes she's not. She had just filed the paperwork to evict Leilani. Leilani had allegedly tore up the house through fighting. Leilani has done drugs while pregnant. She literally, I said this a while back. I said a while back when this first happened, and Billie Joe did the first interview saying, I don't know if I can trust her. I was like, something doesn't sit well with me. Something is weird with that. For your own mom in an interview when everybody's looking at you as potentially the person that killed your child, when your own mom would say, yeah, I don't know, something's not right here. I don't feel like I can trust her. Just, it don't matter what's going on with me and my kids, but if something happens to one of their kids, unless things are really off with them, then I'm going to be like, my daughter didn't do this. My son didn't do this. No, somebody come in that house and stole that kid. Because I know my child would take care of their kid and protect their kid. Even if me and my child fight, and have disagreements. But the fact that she said, I don't trust her, I don't feel right about this, told me there that she was already questioning herself if Leilani had something to do with this. Yeah, she is what she is because of you, Billie Joe, in my opinion. I agree. None of this makes sense. She doesn't trust her, but go partying with her after all of this. You would honestly think that when Billie Joe messaged her friend saying, well, Quentin is deceased. My daughter did it, but she don't remember. That she would have put her daughter out of the house. That she would be too brokenhearted. You know, I've always heard like having a child is like the best thing, but the next best thing, or even better than that, is grandchildren. I mean, I've always heard that grandchildren is like this great thing, and it's like this huge blessing, and um it's special, you know. There's something special about being a grandparent. But she just, okay, you killed him. It is what it is. Now let's go have dinner. Um, if Billie Joe knew Leilani had drug problems or mental health problems, why not get her help? In my opinion, she didn't get her help because she was too concerned with her job, with her boyfriend, with hanging out with her little biker friends. That's my opinion. From her TikTok, that's what it looked like. I mean, Billie Joe. Uh, I mean, how old was Billie Joe doing these TikToks? You know, with these guys singing these like love songs about how she wants a man that can la di da at 55, 56, and her and someone said, I don't blame Billie Joe for having to work. She could have left her husband at home with the kids, but she didn't, because in several of her TikToks her husband was there with her in her camper. So she did not leave her husband. What she did was she left Leilani there to tend to the kids. When CPS and a judge already said Leilani can't tend to these kids. We're not going to leave her with these kids. She is a mother acting like a high schooler. Exactly. My opinion of Billie Joe is that she cares more about trying to be friends with Leilani than being a mother to Leilani. No, 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 no. I know. No, you're not dead. But I'm just saying, in terms of she's doing all these TikToks, wearing these bandanas. Um, what are those called? When you watch another TikTok and you like do your TikTok in reference to that. What is it called? A duet. A duet. So she's doing, wearing these bandanas, going to these bars, and after work, when mind you, she was supposed to be at home with these kids. She was supposed to be at home taking care of these kids. Duetting with these young muscular guys talking about how she needs a man that's gonna blah blah blah. Like, no, Billie Joe, go home and tend to your kids. You know what? I would, if you're doing those TikToks at home raising them children, then I don't have a problem in the world at it with it. But I noticed that we were live the other day and I was looking at all her TikToks. And what we noticed is that the kids were not in very many of the TikToks, like hardly any. The kids were like in a total of like 4 TikToks out of like 40. You know what I'm saying? Not many at all. A lot of them was her at work, or her in a bar, or her in her camper. I think they will both be arrested once that sweet boy is found. I think Ellie is waiting to see how he died. They must be saying it was an accident. That's what I did hear, KCB, is that they're saying it was an accident. I've heard that they're saying that when she woke up, the baby was deceased, and she kind of got stressed out and didn't know what to do with it. Leilani is a mini me of Billie Joe. That's what I'm wondering. Like, more concerned with yourself, your looks, your friends, your rather than doing what you were supposed to be doing. Like, I can commend her for working, but I can't commend her for working and leaving those kids with Leilani, because look where we're at now. Product of your raising. Exactly. Neither of them should get the kids back. Billie Joe should be held somewhat responsible because she knowingly left the kids in the care of the mom who she wasn't supposed to. Exactly. Exactly. So, y'all, literally, they said that they were taking shots. Taking shots. That's what is being said by people that spotted her there. Um, I've been hearing people feeling sorry for Quentin's grandmother, Billie Joe. What grandmother would be in a bar drinking it up with her daughter while her grandbaby is laying in a landfill? Also, yesterday, when Dolly was live, allegedly somebody came outside the house during the protest. And, when everybody's like, where's Quentin? Where's Quentin? There's a murderer that lives here. Somebody yelled, they'll never find Quentin. What does that mean? What does that mean? Why would they say that? Do they know something we don't know? My thing is, if it was an accident, you don't cover up an accident. Just like Casey Anthony, they tried to pull this story with Casey Anthony. Oh, it was an accident. Kaylee drowned in the pool. The father found her and said, "Look what you've done. Your mother will never talk to you." Casey Anthony's father was an ex police officer. He knew that an accident, you may go to jail, but you're not going to spend the rest of your life in jail. But you cover up an accidental death, then it looks like you did it, then you're going to spend more time in jail. I mean, literally, you don't cover up an accident. Like, why? Why would you cover up an accident? Call the police. I mean, my first thought, that's why I don't have pools, because I'm terrified of pools. I don't swim. But my sister has a pool, and I know plenty of people that do. The kids' grandparents. I mean, if I was inside at my in-laws, if I was inside, and God forbid one of our kids got out, and a few minutes later we're looking around, where's our kid? Where's our kid? And then we go out there, and one of them is in the pool. My first thought is going to be, call the cops, call the cops. If I wake up in the morning and I go to my kid's bed and they're unconscious, the first thing I'm going to think is, call the cops, get an ambulance out here, get the cops out here. I'm not thinking, oh, well, too late. First off, I think most initial reactions is, I think, most parents are in denial, even if there's no pulse and they're cold. Most reaction is they're not dead, they can be saved. So they want someone out there that could try to save their child. So their first thought is, call the cops, call an ambulance, get them out here to try to save my kid, I mean, I really don't know many parents that would look and be like, dang, I think they're dead. I got to do something. I got to get rid of this body. Accidents happen, especially if you had nothing to do with it. Then you're going to want answers as well. Why did my baby die? What caused my baby to die in the middle of the night? Why did I wake up and my baby was dead? I mean, for babies, there can be multiple reasons. There can be SIDS. There can be several reasons. But, and that would be my thought too. I need to know why. I need to know what happened. Why did I wake up and my baby was just deceased? To just hide it, it's just crazy to me. I think if you are hiding it, it's because you had something to do with it, in my opinion. If it was an accident, there's so much signs of abuse and drugs there. She was scared either way. Yeah, more than likely scared that it would come. Well, one thing they already knew what they were doing wrong is that she was raising the kids and her mom was gone, and that wasn't supposed to happen. There's another lady in Georgia who just got immediately arrested after her 2-year-old drowned in the back pool. Big difference. Oh, wow. Wow, Robin, that's terrible. That's not right. That's horrible. If they're using all this manpower with the FBI, police department, etc., and they know that they're not going to find anything, this is just sick, and there needs to be consequences. Exactly. Let the dad of the baby girl have his daughter if he is fit to do so. I'm not exactly sure. From my understanding, him and Leilani did cocaine together. From my understanding, can anyone let me know your thoughts on that, or if you've heard that as well? That was what I heard. Is that he as well had a problem? Yeah, give me just a second. Low vibration, but it will all come out. Justice for Quentin. I watched a TikTok where Billie and Leilani were partying. They were high, high, high. They hugged, but the way they looked at each other's eyes was creepy. Is that when they were singing "Stand by You"? When they were singing "Stand by You"? Casey Anthony couldn't afford a good lawyer, and we all seen how that turned out. I saw that tweet, J. Marie. I'm kind of confused on it as well. Um, Today is the second day that they're going to be searching for Quentin's body. The second day. And they do have faith. Chatham Police Department said they have faith that they will find Quentin because of the way that they have set up the search. But I do still worry that they may not be able to find him. Does anyone know the account the TikTok is on? I can't find it by searching her. She took her TikTok down. I looked for Billie Joe's TikTok. Buys in $4.99. Ashley Claire. Sounds like everyone was concerned about themselves and their boyfriends. These kids were not properly looked after. Disobeying a judge's orders looks bad. Exactly. Keep up faith. Don't say that. I worry. I'm hoping that the way that they, just because of the amount of time that it's been, the fact that he was just a little boy, I'm stressing out about it. I mean, I hope and pray that he will be found. His body deserves a proper resting place, and I hope. Yeah, thank you so much for the super chat, Ashley. And I do agree with you that they were too concerned with themselves. Why aren't they using heat signature drones that could help? Also, cadaver dogs. I have had people, bring up why aren't they using cadaver dogs, and I'm like, I don't know. It seems like that would. The only thing that I could think was maybe like cadaver dogs would pick up on like feces, but I wouldn't think so. It's annoying. Gonna put it out there. They're gonna find him. I struggle because of the more days that go by, but I do feel like they have a good system in place of how they're searching. They have narrowed it down to be this one particular landfill. They cleared out the land beside the landfill, smoothed it out, and they have pieces of equipment that's taking these big bunches of garbage, bringing them down to the cleared out area, laying it out, and then they have men in each row, going through that trash and putting it in buckets and transferring it to another area. Transferred it to another area. That way they will go through each piece of trash that is at that landfill. So I just hope somehow they don't overlook it. Is there confirmation the mom put him in the trash? Could it be a red herring? That is what they're saying. The police are saying that. They say they have evidence that points them to that specific landfill. Rumor has it she was caught on like CCTV doing it. My 5-pound dog sleeps in my bed a few months ago. She woke up paralyzed. I ran her to the emergency vet. I thought it was my fault, but it was genetic. A herniated disc. They treat him worse than my dog. Yeah, they do. Unfortunately. Here is. We're gonna look at some of the photos. If they're looking for him in a landfill, I don't know how poor little Quentin will look like because of the process they go through in a landfill. That's my concern. Okay, dogs can smell within hours of decomposition, but the dump has too many smells. It confuses the dogs. Any written leftover meat will smell like it. Allegedly, dog hit on a specific dumpster. Rotten. Gotcha. Any rotten meat. That's what I was wondering, if there would be things that could be confused with the smell. Here is the area where they started and when they started yesterday in the landfill. All the workers going in to start looking. Sorry, that's an ad, guys. I'll bring it back when that ad stops. It's a little blurry. There it goes. Wow. There they are. As you guys can see on the left, there's some like piles of trash that the equipment is going through. They've got two kind of rows, but the men are starting on the far left row. On the right side row, I guess the equipment is going through that. I do believe they are doing an intense search. I do, yeah, I do as well. My I know some people are giving like the police chief a lot of flack because, they think that over the weekend there was no work being done, which from what I'm hearing, that is not true at all. This is what was happening over the weekend. They were clearing out the land so they could I mean, could you imagine if people say they didn't clear this spot off Monday morning or Friday or whatever day that they figured it out, that he was there. They just all showed up at the landfill and just started walking, you know, walking all through, tossing it around. It wouldn't have been a productive search. It wouldn't have been, there would have been no order in the search and how it was going to go. So over the weekend, they got everything in order. They came down with a game plan on how they were going to do this search, and they got a good game plan laid out so it could be as effective as possible. So they would have the best chance at finding him. So that's what they did is they cleared this land here over here, right? I think the chief did great. So if you guys see to the left, that's where like all the trash is, like where the trash is thrown. Right now you're seeing an aerial shot. All that right there, the darker area is the trash. So what they did was they cleaned off a piece of land, cleaned it off. They went and got the equipment that was needed. They went and got, a specific crew that was needed. And over the weekend, they were working. They were working over the weekend. They did not take off for this tournament. It was a fundraiser golf tournament, but the police, it was not the police officers participating in the tournament, from my understanding. Everyone that's been involved in this case, from what I've been told, did work over the weekend. They did, along to get this process started. And you just can't go out there and start searching because it's not going to be. There's no plan. You just can't go out there and start throwing trash around. You got to come down with a game plan, and that's what they did. So I did notice where people are like, flood, call the chief and ask them why they didn't work this weekend. They did. Also, as far as what happens, from my understanding, I think it's the DA. Like, why haven't they arrested Leilani? Why didn't they search this weekend? I think it's the DA that makes these decisions, not the chief. He's just the one. He's the one that kind of the spokesperson for it, and it's a chain of command. You know what I'm saying? From my understanding. So, like, if they make a decision to arrest, it's coming from the DA, right? The DA is going to say, okay, we're going to go ahead and file charges and get a warrant. So the fact that the chief is getting so much heck, and when the police officers showed up at Billie Joe's house yesterday during the protest, they were giving these police officers heck, kind of yelling at them, do your job, things such as that. And we really don't know what's going on behind the scenes. So it's hard. I wouldn't give them too much stress until we actually found out they weren't doing nothing. I mean, if we really know that they're not doing nothing, okay. But we didn't know that, and I've since learned that over the weekend they were in fact working. Some people will never understand the process it takes to get something like this underway, especially when it comes to a landfill. I know, because it takes a lot to make it happen. Exactly. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that would be devastating if. see. Let's read this article. It seems pretty interesting, this one. I was just kind of going over it. So this article was posted yesterday. It says Chatham County police chief fully believes they will find Quentin Simon's remains in the landfill. The Chatham County Police Department and the FBI held a press conference at 11 a.m. to discuss the latest developments in the case of Quentin Simon. Chatham County Police Chief Jeff Hadley said police have still not charged anyone in the investigation. He announced the next phase in the search for Quentin's remains. He said evidence was what led them to this particular landfill. He says, we believe he was placed in a specific dumpster at a specific location. He said the search is going to be physically, mentally, and emotionally grueling task for investigators, but he emphasized that his team's determination. He emphasized his team's determination to find Quentin's remains. He says, we want justice for Quentin just like everybody else, and we want to find his remains so we can give him a proper resting place. He added that his team fully expects to find Quentin's remains in the landfill. Yeah, I wasn't saying that it was the YouTubers. It was one. I know it was one particular guy that was out there yelling, like cursing and stuff like that. And I think that was someone from the community. Um, I have every belief that we will find his remains here at the landfill, Jeff Hadley said. Will Clark, a supervisory agent for the FBI satellite office in Savannah, spoke at the press conference as well. He said investigators were focusing their search on a specific area of the landfill where debris would be deposited on a designated search deck. Okay, so listen to what he's saying. He said investigators are focusing their search on a specific area of the landfill where debris will be deposited on a designated search deck. Thank you, Denisa. Did you see Nancy Grace's panel? I did not. I did not see that. I'm going to look for that. But I'm glad that she's covering this because she has a much larger platform and has a way bigger audience than most of us YouTubers combined. So that's great that someone with a larger platform. Thank you so much for the super chat, Denisa. So this is what he's saying, and this is what I was talking about. How they're gonna the debris will be deposited on a designated search deck for officials to look through the piles. That's what they're doing. The Chatham County Police Department originally stated last week that they believe missing 20-month-old Quentin Simon is dead. Chief Hadley named Quentin's mother, Leilani Simon, as the prime and only suspect in the case, which he reiterated that Tuesday as well. She is still the prime suspect and the only suspect. The Associated Press confirmed through court records that there was turmoil in recent weeks between Leilani and Billie Joe Howe, who had legal custody of Quentin and Quentin's older sibling. Quentin, his mother, and his mother's boyfriend lived with Billie Joe Howe. Leilani called the police on September 7th after an argument with Howe over laundry in which she said Howe had shoved her against a wall. So they got into it. Here's the thing. On September 7th, less than a month before this happened, her and Billie Joe got into it over laundry. Billie Joe shoved her daughter up against the wall. Leilani didn't hesitate to call the police on her mother. Even though she was on probation, she did not hesitate to call the police to say, my mom's pushing me up against the wall. We got into it. But she woke up and her son's deceased and she's scared. I don't know. Yeah, it was the neighbors. I watched the whole thing. Yeah, I know. I think the boyfriend passed allegedly they're saying that he passed a lie detector test and Leilani did not. I guess there's different reasons. I'm really not sure. Right. Over laundry, you call the police, but a baby can die and you don't. They're looking at the boyfriend now. Don B said he talked to somebody today. Yeah, that's, I think that's what Dolly maybe has said, that, he's hearing that. But as far as Tuesday reports, Chief Hadley said she is their only suspect. Now, if they are looking at the boyfriend for some reason, should they announce that? Maybe not. It might be smart for them not to announce that they're looking into someone else as well. Wasn't he the last one to see the baby? He was. So it might be smart if they have decided, you know what, we want to look into him too. We got, to not announce that. Because from my understanding, the boyfriend was cooperating with them. He was talking to them and everything. So no one was charged in the incident, and an officer found no injuries other than Simon's reddened elbow. So when she called on September 7th, nobody was arrested. And the only injury that anyone had was Leilani had a red elbow. Chief Hadley further addressed on Tuesday why police haven't charged anyone yet on Quentin's disappearance. We are not ready to charge anyone. We still have work to do. We have an investigation to do. We're not going to do anything preemptively that would harm the future prosecution. Jeff Hadley gave a brief update on Quentin Simon's case to the public last Thursday afternoon, saying that Quentin's body has yet to be discovered, but added that their evidence leads them to believe that Quentin is deceased. So that is an article that was put up yesterday by ABC 13 News. I'm just going to do a few more searches, make sure there's nothing else that's popped off since we've been on. But I'm pretty irritated that how can you be in a bar taking shots? Partying it up, knowing that your grandbaby and your son is laying out in the trash. These cold nights, and hot days, and y'all are taking shots in a bar. Really? Yeah, I'm praying they know much more than we do. I'd assume no ankle monitor if she's in a bar. True. Because that's what I was thinking at first. Like, well, she might have an ankle monitor. Like, maybe that's why they are. Because they asked, like, do you think she's flight risk? And he said, no. He said, no, we don't think she's flight risk. Well, why? And he said, I can't get into that. He said he could not get into why she wasn't flight risk and why he didn't deem her flight risk. So I thought, well, maybe they placed an ankle monitor on her to keep up with her. Maybe they know an arrest is coming and wanted to party one last time. They said they were having like the Last Supper that one time, like the day after it came out that Quentin was deceased and that his body was in a landfill and that Leilani was the prime suspect. Several members of the family showed up at the house with food, and they were, eating and having, like a little bit of a reunion. There was no ankle monitoring device. You could see her ankles at court. Oh, the only little video that I seen, I wasn't able to see her ankles, but that's not to say that there wasn't other videos out there. I only seen one, and it was like from her waist up, walking out of the courthouse. But I would have, it would have been nice if they did have her on some sort of monitor. This is so not even true. She's on probation for larceny. Is it a probation violation to drink alcohol? I would think so. I would definitely think so. Yeah, she's very lucky she don't get jumped while there. You know what I'm saying? Like, my goodness. At the bar. I mean, some people see her at the bar and they might want to. Do we know who texted the babysitter that morning saying Quentin wouldn't be at the. Danny says it wasn't him. It came from Danny's phone. He says, nope, it wasn't me. Oh, here's some of the people protesting outside of the house.
went to a kindergarten graduation thing, which the entire time we're just looking at each other like, this is the dumbest shit.
I don't know what she's.
I just love him so much because he just gets me and stuff staring at him like, what's in those rolled up pieces of paper? Like, what's that even say? Nothing.
What is the talking here?
We didn't have that type of stuff when we were growing up. I know times have changed, but like.
Okay, something's playing.
In the place that our.
Oh, that was something else. Sorry, that was a video I was watching earlier. And I'm like, wait, what is going on here? All right, this is some of the protests going on outside.
It's Ashley. Okay, Ashley, what are you doing out here?
I'm out here and I'm protesting for being a voice for Quentin. I didn't know this baby.
Right, and you came from where?
Guyton.
Okay, how far away is that?
It's an hour.
So you came all the way an hour. What prompted you to come out here today?
Well, I've been watching the case since day one. I knew something was up. I'm a mother of 3. If my children are quiet for 30 seconds, I know something's going on. And for a mother to not report her child missing and having somebody tell her, I don't care, at 22, I had a child at 22, you should not have to be told that you need to call the cops because your child is missing. So I came out here because she needs to be locked up. She does not need to be coming and going freely. She needs to be locked up.
How do you feel about Chatham County stating that she is the primary suspect in this? They believe that her son is dead. They believe her son is out in the landfill. How do you feel about her walking free right now?
Savannah, Chatham County Police Chief Hadley, I think is his name. He is making Savannah look like a joke. He is basically, this case is spread across America now, and basically what it's telling me is you could commit a crime, you could kill somebody in Savannah, and admit cold-heartedly to it, and not be arrested unless you have hard evidence.
Okay, hold on. I got something to say to this. You know what would really make Savannah look like a joke? You want to know what? What would make it look like a joke? Is if they arrested her way too soon and she got off with it. And she was walking around. Just like what happened in Florida with Kaylee Anthony and Casey Anthony. I mean, there was a lot of circumstantial evidence with Kaylee Anthony and Casey Anthony's story. Kaylee Anthony was missing for 30 days. It wasn't an hour. It wasn't an hour. Here, let's talk about this, okay? Let's do some let's see. All right. Casey Anthony. Versus Leilani. Okay. Casey Anthony, 30 days. 30 days. Kaylee was missing. Her child was missing an hour. 1 hour. Let's see what else we got. Well, y'all help me out. Help me out. What do we got? It was 31 days? 31 days? Okay. So you mean to tell me you want them to arrest her when they're telling you we don't have the evidence we need? We are going through our evidence. We are acquiring our evidence. I thought she called it 9:36. What did the report say, guys? Because she says she woke up at 9 o'clock that morning, but she didn't call until 9:46. Or 9:36 or 9:46. What was the report? Now, they text the babysitter at 5:29. 5:29. So she called at 9:42. She called the police at 9:42. She claims she didn't wake up until 9 o'clock that morning. She claims that she did not wake up until 9 o'clock. Now, what we know, we don't know how long the baby was missing. What she said was, now we can go back to, well, she texted at 5:29, so something must have happened then. But all we can really go based off of is what the report says. We're talking about Kaylee and Quentin because they're saying this young lady, who I appreciate that she's out there, Quentin was reported missing by his mother. So Leilani did call the police. Leilani called the police. Casey did not call the police. The grandmother did. What was the grandmother's name? Cindy? Cindy Anthony called the police and then forced Casey to talk to them. Casey ran them on a wild goose chase. Oh, yeah, I have a job at Orlando Studios. Took them there. And then when she got to the office, turns around and says, I lied, I don't. She ran them a wild goose chase. The nanny baby. There are so, I mean, for anybody to think that they should be arresting this woman when the police says, we don't want to screw this up. We want to get enough. Like, I'm mad too. I am mad. I'm mad. I want her to be arrested. So you know what I want the police to do? Hurry up and get that evidence you need and let's get her locked up. But what I don't want to happen is for them to arrest her way too soon and not have the evidence that they need. And then when this goes to trial, they lose. Because that would really make Savannah, Georgia look like they were both habitual liars. And that's something else she just said. You can cold hard admit it. She did not cold hard admit it. How do we know that? Where is any proof that she cold-heartedly admitted it? We don't know that. All we know is that they're saying that the brother and the grandmother says, my daughter did it, but she don't remember. So that doesn't sound like she cold-heartedly confessed. It sounds like they got some evidence that they seen her doing something suspicious, and I don't think she cold-heartedly admitted to doing it. If she cold-heartedly admitted, if she confessed, yes, I did it, I think they would have arrested her. So my concern is the police need to do their job and get the evidence they need, because everyone was doing the same thing with Casey Anthony, including me. I was like, arrest her. Why is she walking free? Why is she walking free? Why is she walking free? Oh my God, arrest her. I learned my lesson real quick. If the police say we need to make sure we have our evidence together, because I had so much faith in the prosecutor for Casey Anthony's case. I thought he did a great job, with the Casey Anthony case. I mean, and they had her body. Her body was wrapped in a blanket from the home with a heart sticker placed over the mouth, which means there was some emotion attached to whoever did this, because no random person is going to put a heart sticker anywhere on it. They're not going to wrap them with their favorite blanket. They had the neighbor saying that Casey borrowed a shovel the day that her daughter went missing. There was so much evidence. They arrested her, and she got off scot-free. She is walking around today because they did not get the evidence they needed. They arrested too soon. And that's, in my opinion, how do the family know who the baby is and not the mother? I don't know. Twin mommy, I think we just don't know much about him. I don't know much about him to say anything really about him. Yeah, I definitely think the police know more than they're letting on. And I definitely think they will arrest her without a body if they feel like they can win this. But her saying you can get away with murder even if, you got stone cold, you got a full-blown confession, there's no evidence that she full-blown, because guess what? When you have a full-blown confession signed, I did it, my name, you are arrested. That's a known fact, right? If you confess to something full-blown, sign your confession, you get arrested. So obviously she did not full-blown confess. Neighbors say she was beating the kids in the street. Arrest her on that for now. Can they do that? I don't know. I don't know what do I feel like they have something they can arrest her with? I do. I feel like they could probably arrest her with neglect or something. The grandma, I feel like they could arrest the grandma for neglect or something. Arrest her on abuse and neglect. Exactly. I feel like they could do that. And that would be great if they did that. Do something that they think could stick. And one thing is being in violation of a court order. A court order stated that the grandma was supposed to be tending to them kids, not Leilani. Arrest them both for being in violation of a court order. Arrest them both for Anything that you can get them on, I am all for that. But don't arrest her on murder right now if you guys don't think you can get the stick. If the police chief is telling us, like basically telling us we don't think he could stick right now, we need more time, we got to go through our evidence a little bit more, then we need to be like, okay, then don't arrest her on that. If you don't even have faith that you can do it, I think they are waiting until they get this landfill searched. I think that's one thing that they're waiting on, to completely search the landfill to see if they will have a body or not. Um, yes, Lori Vallow Daybell got arrested for something else until they can prove murder. Yeah, and I think that would be a great idea to do that. But I don't think arresting for murder is going to be the best bet right now. Sorry, guys, gotta go. My baby's getting on the bus, and trust I'm gonna hold him tight when he gets home. Aw. I hope your baby has a good day at school or getting off the bus. Oh, it's one. Oh, yeah, I guess different times. They found JJ and Kylie. Yes, and um, they could put her on a probation hold. So if she's on probation, possibly, if she's on probation and they violate that probation because she broke the law, she was violating a court order, drugs, whatever, anything they can get her on, arrest her for that, and then charge her with being in violation, and then put her on a probation hold. Put her on a probation hold. And when you're on a probation hold, a judge won't even set a bond for 72 hours, and that will at least give them a couple of days. But the judge saying that he doesn't believe that she's at risk. Oh, thank you, Stacey Ray, $5. I pray they find baby Quentin soon. Me too. Me too. Y'all, I want this baby to be found, and I want her to be arrested for this. I want her and Billie Joe to be arrested for this. Especially, I had a little bit of sympathy for Billie Joe at first, a little bit of sympathy for her, but not anymore. That is gone. To find out that she is partying, riding her motorcycle, telling the police he's really annoying me. The guy that works for the news station while you're taking shots with your daughter who's allegedly murdered her 20-month-old son. No, that's all out the window. I think everyone in that house should be arrested, even as simple because they knew what was going on. Oh, Denise, thank you so much for gifting the membership. That is awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much. Alicia, oh my God, Alicia, you were just saying that you wanted a membership. Bristol, Alicia, Bama Beauty, Lace and Chains, Marissa, you guys were all gifted a membership by Denisa. Thank you so much, Denisa. That is so sweet. I guess doing all that could maybe technically slow down the real case. I mean, potentially, I'm mad too. I'm mad. I want her to be arrested, but I also don't want to see this turn out like Casey Anthony. That is one thing that I worry about. Let's continue listening to this lady, and I'm glad that people are showing up out there. I want it to be a peaceful protest because there are neighbors that have children, and I want that to be respected. I want other people's homes to be respected. All while them doing what they have a constitutional right to do, which is to protest outside of that home. Oh, I was looking up reasons. I want to say this really quickly. I was looking up reasons why they would deem someone like not a flight risk, And some of the reasonings were like financially not able, like couldn't afford to run, don't have a passport, certain things like that, right? Here's the thing. Billie Joe was a pipe fitter. She made good money. She made decent money. And she has a camper. And she has connections in other states. A couple of different states because she's worked in a couple of different states. So, in my opinion, I feel like Leilani could be a flight risk because I definitely think she has the ability to leave. They have a camper. I mean, Billie Joe came home from work when this happened. She came in from work, so her camper is still placed wherever she's been working. So I personally believe that those are they could potentially be a flight risk. Both of them should be made to join that search landfill. I said the video heartbreaking. Yeah. That's crazy if there's a child with them or if there's children with them. They should not be allowed to be around children. Um, I am looking. Destiny, did you say you posted something in the chat? Um, yeah, I'm so happy. I cheered up. Oh, I'm so happy that you're happy. I really appreciate Destiny. Denisa, for you doing that. Um, Sorry, I want SL in jail forever. However, I don't agree with the process outside of private home for for many reasons. Neighborhoods, little kids. It's never peaceful. You always hear BHB start and yell drama. Has her brother said anything else on it or any other family member? I suppose their names, yes, their names would be flagged, I'm sure. So the brother did step out at one point and was yelling back and forth. Um, who's to say that Billy Joe hasn't have a friend who could come get Leilani without being on a plane? May I ask, but delayed here in the UK, but is the grandma's behavior being called into question too? I don't think it is. I don't think it is. Um, Leilani, is it a flight risk these days? It isn't easy to board a flight and go. You have to have the proper ID, and I'm sure she is flagged everywhere. I want her in jail. Also, hey, so I'm just saying, I don't think she's gonna fly anywhere, but I think they could take off in a vehicle. Take off in a vehicle. Do you have a timestamp for this, D? Okay, never mind. I'll look. I'll find it. Because Billy Joe, her job, um, she travels with her job, and she's worked in different states. Um, so I feel like she has friends that have worked in different states, that she has connections with. Right now, her camper trailer is in a completely different state. Um, so I think she has the potential to run if she wanted to, just by way of vehicle, jumping in a vehicle and taking off. Diana McCart just posted a video on TikTok thanking everyone for the. Oh, I'm gonna check that. I wish I could talk to her. I would love to talk to her. I'm gonna see if I can find that really quickly. Even if they take off in a vehicle, she will definitely be found. Yeah, yeah. I definitely think she would be found. It would be crazy for her to run, but do I feel like she's not in flight? At risk of flight. I think she potentially could be. Like if I was the police, I would not be so certain. Like I wouldn't be like, oh yeah, no, she's not a flight risk. I would worry. I would say I would 60-40. Like 60% she probably won't. 40% she probably will. No, the people was putting bears on the babysitter's yard, and people was going out there stealing it. What some low class citizens. YouTubers are following her. Wow. But I don't know if that puts them in harm's way. I don't know. Sorry, guys. Oh, wrong one. Where is the most recent one? Here it is.
There's a baby dead in the landfill. You gotta be shitting me right now.
Dolly does use some profanity. So I'm gonna listen to his real quick because they said there was kids with him.
Got to be shitting me. So, like I said, Leilani, you can run and you can hide, but we're gonna find you no matter where you're at in this country, right? We know exactly what room you're in. We know exactly what hotel you're in. So, you need to hide in vehicles, the bikes that go got, because they were easy to find. Okay. But this is what's up. This girl has done murdered her kid, and murdered her baby, and she's out here at the beach. Okay? This is where she's at.
Her mom seems so upset that she killed her grandchild. She's out drinking with her at bars.
Yeah.
Getting drunk
Yeah.
while you find it. And isn't Leilani on probation? Isn't one of those requirements that you have to abstain from alcohol and drug use while you're on probation? Isn't this a violation of probation in and of itself?
I would think so. I would think. I absolutely would think. Leilani being in a bar consuming alcohol would be a violation, and they could potentially get her for that. No doubt that the FBI has put a tracker on her car and a listening device in the house. If they have reason to any, a judge will sign off on it. I think so as well. All right, let's see if we can find the part where. Let me see if I can get it.
Can't hide. There ain't no hiding. There ain't no hiding. There ain't no hiding from us. We will track you to the end of the planet. We will find you. Leilani is going to jail.
And she should have been in jail.
Ain't I got another baby with you?
You got that kicker right now? You got kicker right now? You deserve to have all those children taken.
What?
You got kicker right now? You deserve to have all those children taken.
Literally, they have children. They have children. I'm gonna lie, babe. This is crazy. They did take the other kids, so it's not her other kids. Do we know for sure that she has one? Yeah, well, she told the police in September when she called the cops. When she called the cops on her mother because they got into a fight, she told them that she was on probation. So unless it ended over the course of the past 3 weeks, then yes, she is on probation.
Nice day for vacation, ain't it? I'm thinking about getting a room here too.
Yeah. We let everybody know about this night play.
It is.
How many guys get to sit there and protect the
Why
wife?
y'all in that landfill? We.
Well, I know that she should be in jail. She beat those kids. You know she beat those kids. She beat those kids for a month. And you guys stood by and let her. I saw bruises and black eyes on those children. I saw bruises and black eyes. How dare you? How dare you?
Yeah, that's the only thing. I'm going to stop and commentate on it. You know what? Honestly, man, if I was there, I don't know if I would be able to keep my cool. I'm not even going to lie. If I was there and I saw them, I don't know if I would follow them. I'm going to make myself a little bit bigger for a second. I don't know if I would follow them because I wouldn't want to put myself in harm's way, and I don't trust. I mean, one of her kids took a man off into the woods, tied his hands behind the back, and shot him in the stomach. One of Billie Joe's boys did that, and now her daughter killed her 20-month-old son, allegedly. You know, so she has 2 children that have murdered. You know, and we don't know what type of woman she is. So I wouldn't put myself in that position to follow them, but they did. If I was to run into them somewhere, I definitely could not. I don't know if I could contain myself and keep my composure. Honestly, I think if I might be doing what Bullhorn Betty was doing right now, honestly. You know, I know a lot of people talk about Bullhorn Betty yelling, but in this moment, if I saw them, yeah, they didn't just say it was a murder. They said it was a slaying. Her son, yeah, they called it a slaying, what her son did. And he's in prison for 45 years. So if I was to see them somewhere, I especially see that they have kids with them, I would call the cops and say, you guys know that Leilani and Billie Joe are out here and they have children with them? They have children with them. I would call the cops. And I would try, hands might go to moving. I ain't even lying. Because this is ridiculous that they have kids with them.
I'm not the one being kids. I'm the one here with the boys for those kids, those victims.
That's great.
I do have a big mouth. I don't like baby killers. I don't like baby killers.
Told you.
I mean, honestly, if Billie Joe really cared about Quentin, she would like that there's so many people that's bringing light to his name, that's wanting him to be found. I mean, if this was any of my family members, I would love that people were being a voice for him and wanting him to be found. But it's like she don't want him to be found. I mean, literally, one of they said it was Leilani's sister went outside the house yesterday and yelled back at the protesters, "They will never find Quentin." What? Yeah, the police helped them escape from the house yesterday. They sure did, from my understanding.
You can run, but you can't hide. Yeah. Yeah. They're here.
They got another baby in there.
Yeah, they got a baby with them.
Baby in there.
Now the news got them. See? All of them.
Oh, the news is there now too. The news is taking pictures of them now too. I've called the cops. They said she could do whatever she wants. So she can be around babies while she's literally being investigated for murdering a child. If another kid comes up dead, that's on them. Yeah, if we knowingly bring our kids into this situation around someone that could hurt them, it's on us. Yeah. Bullheart Betty hasn't been yelling much at all. I've been watching the whole time. They've been there. That's first. I've heard her yell. Yeah, I know people say that she yells. I've never watched her until this thing. And I said it before. I said I actually enjoyed what Bullheart Betty and Dolly was doing kind of before the protesters got there because I felt like they wasn't causing this big scene or this big stink. You know, if somebody passed by outside, they might would say something, but they weren't yelling and screaming and cursing and hollering and making a big old, you know, disturbance in the neighborhood. So I had respect for that. But I've always heard like, oh, Bullheart Betty yells. But I thought she did fine. How can Dolly and Bullheart Betty not be arrested? I'm not sure I would do that. I mean, freedom of speech, freedom of, they can follow them, I think. I'm not exactly sure what the laws are as far as like following them around or anything like that. I'm not sure.
You know, the party and the drinking and the drugs probably is what contributed to this to begin with. And you guys are out partying and drinking.
Well, that baby's dead in the
That baby's
landfill.
playing with garbage on its head. On its head. I'm not the one that put him there. Maybe you should go have your daughter or your granddaughter do it.
Y'all shouldn't even around
You
baby.
should be helping her.
I think that man said, well, why don't y'all go help look for him? I think the man said, well, why don't you go help look for him? When they're yelling, you know, how are you going to be there drinking, taking shots while Quentin is dead in a landfill? I think the man said, well, why don't you go look for him? And she said, why don't you go look for him? It's y'all's grandbaby. It's your son. That's terrible. Why don't you go look for him? What?
Because you assault a woman? That sounds just about right.
That's the reason. That's why your family's in this predicament right now. Because you're violent.
The violence from that household is what contributed.
Your family's violent is why your daughter is going to prison. That's why she's going to prison. Because you people are violent.
Everybody's violent.
Step away from me. You step in my bubble.
I'm here.
Don't step in my bubble, sir. We take trouble.
Oh, Dolly's like, don't step in my bubble. Don't step in my bubble. But he's right. These people seem like they're kind of violent. And there is that Billie Joe back there with a child on her hip. Why, Billie Joe, are you walking around now taking care of some kids when you couldn't come home from work to take care of these kids? You left them with Leilani for Leilani to tend to. And now look. Even other murderers in jail hate child killers. Exactly. Look at the lady in the background. Is that Billie Joe? Back there carrying a toddler? Is that her?
Away from me. Step away from me.
Shut up, mouth. You got to ask the mouth. All I said.
Yeah, because they got kids. They got kids around these violent people.
Why is the woman coming up with a baby? Get the baby away from this situation. Get the baby away from this situation. Why? There's two men sitting there, you know, going back and forth. Why are you walking up with the baby? This goes to show you that they have no, like, understanding of how kids should be raised. To just, you know, walk up with a baby on your hip when this is going down. When Dolly said, don't get in my bubble. Don't get in my bubble. Who is this man?
Why is he not in jail? Why is he in jail?
Why is the FBI?
Why are you talking about all the abuse she's done to those kids? Why are you out drinking?
Yeah, I do not. That's a lie. You're a liar. Why is she not in
We
jail?
heard
You
by
heard,
Billy
you
Joe.
you heard a fart. Did you not hear me out drinking? Because that was not the case.
Oh, well, don't nobody care about you, old man. What we heard was that Billie Joe and Leilani is drinking, and that's what she meant. What she meant was Billie Joe and Leilani are out there drinking while Quentin is laying, decomposing in a landfill. They're taking shots, probably, in my opinion, doing a little bit of, you know what, Coca-Cola. And you're out there hanging out with them. I would be disgusted. There's no way I could hang out with somebody that's partying while there's a 20-month-old baby decomposing in a landfill. He's no better than them almost. And then he's like, that's a lie. You didn't hear that I drank. Yeah, because nobody knows who you are. Nobody gives a crap. That's not what she meant. Oh, thank you. My donation got denied yesterday. Is there something wrong? Denisa, where did you donate to? I don't think so. Let me know where you donated to. You gifted 5 more memberships. Or member for 5 months. Denise said, L1 member, my donation. Where did you donate to, Denise? I'm not sure. Was it to my channel or to like my PayPal? Because I'm not sure. Like, who would hang out with somebody like this? I'm surprised any bikers will be shielding them. Exactly. Me too.
Was Leilani and Billy Joe?
I did not give a fuck. I was not with them.
The 2 people
I
are
was not with
responsible
them.
for this child's death.
And you know what? That may be so. I do not know that.
But how can y'all harbor her doing it?
The FBI knows what.
He said, I don't know them. Then why are you walking over there defending them? Get your butt in your hotel room and leave them alone. You can walk up and say, hey, listen, I don't know them. I ain't got nothing to do with them. But can you guys stop hollering? Me and my wife in there trying to get some rest. Why did you just walk up defending them?
What they're doing. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation knows what they're doing. You ain't open a big mouth, huh?
Why are you protecting a child?
Elle, I have a question for you. How would you feel if your kids, all 6, was in earshot or eyesight of what? Would you be okay with this? Just ask and not be mean. If we lived in that neighborhood and there was yelling and screaming, I would not be okay. If I was there at that particular place, I would get my kids inside and try away from the situation. I would be mad the same. Now, if I was there myself without my kids, and I saw them, it would take everything in me to control myself. I would probably want to hit someone. Not gonna lie. I would probably want to hit someone. If I saw Leilani and Billie Joe out walking around after, taking shots, la-di-da-di-da, knowing that Quentin has not been found. Hey, PRF7673JM, thank you so much for becoming a member. I appreciate that so much. Welcome to the Fam Bam. It would be very hard for me not to be mad about the situation. If I was at that hotel with my kids, I would get my kids in the car and leave. I would put them into the room, go into the room, shut the door, turn the TV on. I would not want my kids to be around that at all. I wouldn't. But I don't like for my kids to be around yelling and screaming in general. And it's not about any particular situation. It would just be, I don't like my kids being around that type of energy, hostility, negativity. So I would try to get my kids away from the situation.
Killer.
What?
You are protecting a child.
I'm not protecting shit. The police are going to do what they're going to do. All I'm doing is, I've known her for a long time. She's always been good to me. And I just came down here to talk to her and see what she had to say to me about it. That's it.
Well, then what did she say to you, sir? I mean, she admitted through Facebook that her daughter killed her grandchild. What else is there to say? What else is there to say? What he says, so he is a friend. He says, I'm not with them. And then he just says, I am a friend. I came down here to check on them to see what she was going to tell me. So did she tell you? Did she admit to you that Leilani killed her grandson? And you're sticking around? Everyone is yelling she should be arrested right now. Unfortunately, right now, it does not work in the court of law. Authorities need to prove it beyond a reasonable doubt. A reasonable doubt. Exactly. That's what I was saying. Wild Blue. I don't want another Casey Anthony situation going on here. It absolutely reminds me of Casey Anthony. He does know them. He's just saying he don't know if she killed that baby. That she has never done anything but be good to him. What? Who the hell cares? Exactly. You do not hang out and shoot the shit with baby murderers. I'm sorry. You could be my bestie, but you hurt a baby. You're not my bestie anymore. I'm sorry.
Yeah. They got shit to do.
I hang around bikers, and the bikers I hang out with would never put up with this shit right now.
I bet you got fucking held by.
I mean, she's a baby killer. You don't even know that. Did you see it? She in the dumpster. Why is she in the dump?
Where did you see it?
With her.
Did you see it? Did you see it? Did you see it?
Yeah, tell him to look it up. How do you know she did it? What? How do you know she did it? I mean, she is the police's only suspect. Billie Joe and the brother messaged friends through Facebook Messenger saying, Quentin is dead, my sister did it. Why would they say that? I'm sure Billie Joe has told you that, Mr. Biker Guy. You came down, asked her friend to talk to her to see what she would say. Is she telling you a different story now? Is she saying, no, that's not it. We don't know what's going on. We don't know. We have no idea.
What happened?
Are you a liar?
What were you with her? You tell me.
And this thing here, my wife's trying to put the baby in the damn.
You tell me what
Trying to put the
happened.
baby in the chair.
Clear it up for us.
And she blasts straight through. Just about knocks the baby on the floor. And she was.
What happened though? If you know, listen.
So he is saying basically, him and his wife came down with a baby. What I just heard. Me and my wife came down. She's trying to do something with the baby. So you are friends with Billie Joe. All this popped up. You, your wife, and a child decide to come down to hang out with them to see what's up. What? No. Even if you're my lifelong friend and something happens, guess what? I might come down there, but I ain't bringing my kids. And if I see a text message where you admitted that your daughter just killed her kid, I'm going to call you and be like, what's this about? I'm going to call you. What's this about? I'm not bringing my kid down there. This guy going to be a witness now. Yeah.
And listen, sir, if we don't know what's going on, then why don't you fill us in?
Because the FBI is still being. I'm letting them do their job. They do their job. Well, why don't you go up to fucking New York City?
I
where
go
they got,
everywhere.
No. Where they got all these embassies up there, countries that promote slavery and child pornography.
We can
Go
do
down
that
and
too.
do it. Have you ever?
Why don't you just do something, Mr. Man? Why don't you do something, Mr. Man? You know, why don't you do something besides trying to hang out with them people? Crap. I think Sean let a bug in when he brought me my lunch. Let's listen to what he said.
You tell me.
And this thing here, my wife's trying to put the baby in the damn.
You tell me what
Trying to put the
happened.
baby in the chair this
Clear it
morning,
up for us.
and she blasts straight through, just about knocks the baby on the floor, and she was.
What happened though? If you know, listen.
He said something about my baby. My wife put the baby in the high chair and was trying to get somewhere in a rush and about knocked the baby out of the chair. What is he talking about? Is he on the same kind of drugs that they're on?
What happened?
What happened though? You tell me.
Dolly says, what happened? When he says something about knocking the baby over, Dolly says, what happened?
Thing here, my wife's trying to put the baby in the damn.
You tell me what
Trying to put the
happened.
baby in the chair this
Clear it
morning,
up for
and
us.
she blasts straight through, just about knocks the baby on the floor, and she was.
What happened though? If you know,
Look,
if we listen. So
I don't even know what this man is talking about. I don't even know what this man is talking about. Yeah, how special. He's wearing a Grim Reaper shirt. Wow.
If we don't know what's going on, then why don't you fill us in?
Because the FBI ain't come in. I'm letting them do their job. They do their job. Well, why don't you go up to fucking New York City? Where they got, no. Where they got all these.
So basically, he wants Bullhorn Betty and Dolly to go somewhere else to try to fight against injustice against children, but not there. Not there. Hey, how about you not stay here and fight against the injustice against Quentin? Don't do that. Let's go to the embassy and talk about child porn and la-di-da-di-da and other kids. Let's not talk about Quentin. Go do something else. What? I'm not sure if he knows what he's talking about. I agree with you, Joanne. Does he even know what the hell he's talking about? For the love of all things holy, what are you doing, man? I don't even know if he's a biker guy. Because I don't know anybody that would stand for this. Yeah, suddenly he's talking about CP. Exactly. Why? He's saying his wife almost killed the baby, but it would have been an accident, not murder. Wow. Would they have called the cops? You know, if when she ran through the baby and it knocked the baby over and the baby hit its head and died, would she have said, well, let me go throw the baby in the dump now? No. Kids are, they're not trash, you know? I assume he said his wife almost knocked the baby over because of the noise they were making. How about you remove the baby from the dangerous situation? Yeah, really, we don't know what he's talking about. But if he was trying to compare, like, well, my wife almost hurt the baby, like, say if she would have, it would have been an accident. I think if that would have happened and his wife would have hurt the baby, the cops would have been called, you know? No?
She's up here countries that promote slavery and child pornography.
We can
Look
do
at
that.
do it. Have you ever? They've been doing that shit there for 50 years. We don't know these kids. I don't know that. I don't know.
Bullhorn said this is not about other children right now. This is about a 20-month-old child in a landfill because his mother killed him, you know?
I do.
Oh, sorry, guys. I didn't screen share with you guys again. My bad. Hold on. I'm over here trying to eat my lunch and watch. I apologize.
Why do you think they're out there? The dogs have already hit. They're just looking for remains. They're just looking for remains. That's sick. That's sick.
Y'all harboring a murder.
Harboring her. Congratulations.
You're a big pile of shit. Don't know nothing.
He said, you're a big pile of that don't know nothing. Really?
This comes out. You know when this comes out, sir, she's going to prison for the murder of this child.
Fight for these babies.
Here's what we know. The FBI and the Georgia Bureau of Investigation are investigating.
That's the horse shit they're giving you.
They said she's the number one suspect in this case. There's no other suspect.
And that's what they always say.
Do you know she
But
targeted
where's the
that
baby,
Do you
sir?
know she
Where's
did?
the baby?
Hold on. Do you?
Yeah, I don't think Bullhorn Betty went through any motel room and knocked any baby over. I don't think. I'm actually wish Bullhorn Betty would have let Dolly ask this question because he's got a good question. Well, where's the baby then? If she didn't do it, where is the baby that was in her possession? But Bullhorn's like, no, hold on, Dolly, I got a question. But I really think he had a good question, and I would have loved to hear the man answer it.
You know she didn't like that baby. You know, within 24 hours of us coming into town, we found out she specifically targeted that child because of his father.
I don't know what that is.
Well, maybe you should look into it before you protect people.
Yeah, because we've talked to a lot of people here, not just you, but a lot of people, and they said they witnessed her beat that baby.
I ain't never seen it.
You know, they witnessed her beat on this baby.
He's never seen it, but did he ask around? What did Billie Joe tell him? What did Billie Joe tell him? He said, I came down here to talk to her. What did she tell you?
They witnessed it. You know what I'm saying? A man, and you look like a decent, guy, right? You look like a decent guy. I don't see.
You're trying to get to a hunch of corn. You're a fucking
Look.
Look. You killed my kid. You carry my ass to the place.
Baby killers are with you.
Yeah, that's true.
Baby killers are with you.
She's plowed.
You don't think baby killers are with you.
You know what? Blame everybody.
Look, violence. Do you understand? Violence is what caused this.
She plowed through like a hog going to the
Yeah, do you?
Okay, so that's not Bullhorn, right? That's not Betty, is it? Is that Bullhorn Betty? I don't think so. But he's saying that woman plowed through something. I don't really understand what he's saying.
Balance. You come through here and you look at it, it's like I'm a 300-pound hog trying to get to a 100-pound hole so I can fill my tank. Do you realize balance?
Mckee wants you to read her comment. Oh, thank you so much, baby. I'm good. Yeah. That was really good. Thank you. I'm not seeing Nikki's comment. You guys, we have 568 people in the chat right now. He was saying his wife was trying to put their baby into a chair, and Betty barged through and almost knocked the baby onto the floor. Where were they at when that happened? You guys, if you do want to make sure I do see your comment, the best way to do that may be to send a super chat, because we do have 568 people in here. And it'll be hard for me to see your comment unless the mods point it out. You guys can get their attention as well and say, hey, tell B to read my comment, and I'll try to do that. Or you can, like I said, use the super chat, because it lights up when you do that. Miranda, looking beautiful. Oh, thank you so much, Miranda. All he would say is he got kidnapped playing, like the report said to the police. He don't know. I don't think he looks like a decent dad. No, she didn't. It was the other girl. Yeah, how do we get a kiss like that? Bring me some shrimp and corn. I'm just kidding. These lips are only for the hubby. All right, let's continue.
You put yourself in.
This is what got overheard almost killed the baby. Well, you know what? She might have almost killed the baby, but Leilani killed the baby. You're a hero. You are a hero.
Everybody else trying to defend it.
You hide that murderer, but you can run to the edge of the planet, and we're gonna find you. We're gonna find y'all every time. We found you today, didn't we? We found you today. You can run. Leilani's going to prison. She's a baby killer. Billie Joe, you watch that baby get beat.
And this is the power of YouTube, baby.
That baby lies in a dump. That baby lies in a dump right now because of you people. Right now. It's in a dump right there. A little neck. That baby's in a dump because of you.
I just don't understand why this man would even need to feel the need to say anything. He apparently he's saying that somebody ran over his wife who was trying to put the baby in a chair. But then he called her like a hog, like a hog you're trying to get through. That was very rude. If these are nothing more than friends of yours, then let people be mad. Let the FBI do their job. He was telling Dolly what he told to him by Billie Joe and Leilani. Yeah, that's okay. I don't know what. I'm just watching. You asked me a question and you said you were serious. You really just wanted to know what would I do. I said I would leave. You can't help what happens in public. That's the thing. That is a hotel. That's a hotel. I can't stop that from happening. And if I had my children there, would I jump in the middle of that? Hell no. I would get my kids in a car and leave. Would I call the police? No, because I wouldn't want to be in the middle of it. I would assume more than likely the hotel would call the police over a disturbance. I would not call the police and involve myself in that. I would let them handle it, and I would get my kids away from the situation. If I was there myself and I was staying there for whatever reason, I would not follow them. I would not do that. But say I came across them and I saw that they are literally with children, I would be mad. I would be irritated. Would I cause a scene? I mean, I'm not the type of person to really cause a scene, but I do think I might want to say something. But me commenting on what's happening here, if you think that makes me a bad person, we're watching it together. If you thought more of me, I do apologize, but we're dealing with someone that killed a 20-month-old baby. So if our opinions differ a little bit because maybe our hurt is different or our irritation is different, if that changes the way that you think about me, that's okay with me. That I'm completely fine. Because guess what? I don't think that I have to agree with everybody and think differently of them. Just like I may not agree with other YouTubers. But does that mean I think differently about them or I'm going to feel the need to say that? No. I'm not in agreement with them. I literally said I would not be doing it, but they are doing it, so I'm commentating on what they are doing. Did you watch my other video at all when they were protesting outside the house? And I said that bothered me. I said that bothered me because there's kids around. There's the babysitter down the street that has 6 children. And if this was my neighborhood, I would be ticked off. I'm commenting on a video. I can't stop it from happening. I cannot stop it from happening. They are also, this is also, but I'm just commenting on what happened. I'm watching a video that people came into my chat and said, go watch it. I cannot say, hey, stop it. Stop. Dolly, stop. Get in your car and leave. I can't say that. So I'm just commenting on what happened. So that's okay. If you know, that's okay. Let's continue watching. I'm really confused, but that is okay. You are more than entitled to your opinion.
People. And y'all out here partying, but that baby lays in a landfill.
Congratulations! Congratulations! I'm gonna make you famous for being a piece of shit.
We gotta go. All right, guys. Hope y'all enjoyed. Have a good one.
I am actually shocked that the police didn't get called. And if they did get called, they didn't make it out there before this all stopped. It seems like he's getting off. Yeah. So it does seem like that happened all in a matter of literally, hold on, I can tell you guys how long that took. 10 minutes. 10 minutes. In a matter of 10 minutes, they got to this hotel and had this, you know, altercation, if you want to call it that. So if the hotel did call the police, if anybody called the police didn't have time to make it there, and I would be shocked to hear that they didn't. I can't slow the chat. Give me just a second. How slow do I need to make it? Can a mod let me know? Is 20 seconds okay? 30 seconds okay? Let's do 30 seconds. But it would be up to the police, the hotel, in my opinion, to call the police. If I was there, I wouldn't. Especially if my children were there, I would get in my car and I would leave. Now watching it, you know, I'm commenting on what happened. And I just said the one thing that I did agree with is I agreed with that one question that Dolly was asking. Because he said, because the man was basically saying, y'all are liars. You don't know what's happening. You don't know what you're talking about. The police are investigating. You don't know what's happening. So Dolly had a question and said, well, where's Quentin at? If we don't know what we're talking about, where is Quentin? And oh my goodness, Destiny, I'm so sorry. I agreed. I thought that was a good question. And I wish Bullhorn wouldn't have stopped. Why do I want to call her Bullhorn because everybody calls her Bullhorn Betty, so it's like it's her first name. But I wish Bullhorn Betty wouldn't have interrupted and said no, wait. Because since he didn't believe that Leilani did this, I would have liked to have heard his response to that. Does it mean that I agree with what happened just then? No, it doesn't mean I agree with it. But it also doesn't mean that I can't commentate on it. You know what I'm saying? Do I feel like it's getting Quentin justice? No, I don't. But they were also out there as well. The news reporters were also out there as well. Literally, the news followed them as well to the hotel. And these are journalists, like legit journalists are following these people around because they're mad. They are upset that Leilani's walking around and this baby has not been found. You know, it's hard to handle your emotions when there are kids involved. It's very hard. You know, to figure it out and to know how to act when children are involved. You have a child that literally it has been thrown away with the garbage. So, do I agree with the way some of them are acting? No. Um, I'm actually upset that Leilani and Billie Joe have friends with them that have a child. I am irritated at that. I'm irritated at that. In my opinion, when that took place, rather than the man approaching them and the woman coming along with the baby to approach them, she could have called the cops. You know, she could have called the cops and said, "Hey, we got people out here that's following my friends, and I got a baby." And or she could have got that baby into a room away from the situation. The fact that she walked up on that situation with the baby, I'm also looking out for children as well, and I think that was really dumb. And I also said that I thought it was really dumb and not a smart idea to follow them because I think it could put them potentially at risk. Yeah, I think it could put them in danger to be following those people around. I mean, what if that man would have decided to hit Dolly? Then I mean, so I don't think it was the smartest idea, and I can say that on each end. Wasn't the smartest idea, in my opinion, to follow them. Wasn't the smartest idea for that man to walk up to them and then that woman follow with that baby because that baby shouldn't be anywhere around anything like that. Thank you, Amanda. If you don't agree and they do it for clicks, why are you doing this? Who said they're doing anything for clicks? Are you talking to me? Because I didn't say that. If you have warrants, you won't call the police. She actually did call the police. Leilani called the police on September 7th when her mom pushed her up against the wall. She did not hesitate to call the police when it involved someone being mean to her. When it involved her mom pushing her up against the wall, she was fine with calling the police. And when they got out there saying, "Well, I'm on probation, just letting you know, I'm kind of nervous to call you, I'm on probation." But, so I don't know if I don't know. I would have laid low. Yeah, if you're going to follow them, I would just lay low and follow them, in my opinion. That way, say if they decide to run, you're on their tail. Don't make it known that you're following them, if you're going to. Yeah, she is on probation in North Carolina. She's not, yeah, her probation is out of North Carolina. Too bad Quentin wasn't able to call Ellie. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, Dolly doesn't monetize his videos from what I was told. He gets super chats, but yeah, I've heard him say that he don't monetize. First, I hear you're very nice. Thank you so much, The Ridge. I appreciate that. That family lives a life of drugs, alcohol, and violence. From my understanding, that's what it seems like. Is that man Billie Joe's husband? It is not. That is not Billie Joe's husband. That is a friend of Billie Joe's. But I'm just blown away. I'm gonna double check really quickly to make sure there isn't any more updates on Quentin, and then we'll go ahead and we'll close this one out. Like I said, they are searching again today for Quentin. They're searching. They're back at the landfill. They have this little system set up, to make their process, the search process, as easy as possible and as efficient as possible, so they potentially can find him. The only thing I'm seeing is Tybee police said to Brooke Butler in a phone call that a woman who identified herself as Billie Joe told officers she was leaving and not coming back. They are leaving the hotel. What does that mean? Leaving the hotel and not coming back, or what? I'm enraged. Mom and grandma ripping shots at the bar. Exactly. People on Tybee Island are saying Leilani, the prime and only suspect in her son's disappearance, was out drinking with her mother last night. Yep. So let's look at this.
We gotta try.
This
If
is
I don't, we gotta try.
this is where they were at.
If I don't, we gotta try. If I don't, we got.
So that's allegedly where they were at. It says a host at Tybee Beach Bar tells me Leilani and her mother Billie Joe were there taking shots last night. The same day, FBI and police said they're searching Chatham County landfill for Leilani's son Quentin's remains. You guys, wow. This is like the memorial outside of the house. Baby murderer lives here. Justice for Quentin. No justice, no peace. And this is outside of the babysitter's house, which, from my understanding, is that's outside the babysitter's house, and people have taken some of the stuffed animals, stolen them, which is terrible that anybody would go and steal those stuffed animals outside of the baby's house. If they violate her in NC, then they have to extradite her. Georgia probably doesn't need that hassle. That's right. I didn't think about that because at first I was like, you know what? They could arrest her for being in violation of her probation. Thank you, Robin. Thank you so much. Thanks for not bashing Born Betty and Dolly. I know some people don't agree, but they are really trying to help her. You know, I don't like to bash anyone because we do things different. Doesn't mean I agree with everything that someone may do, but I don't see the point in bashing anyone. I watched several of Dolly's videos, and I like what he does sometimes. And there's a few things that he does where I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't have done that. But I would not bash anyone because, you know, you never really know what to do in a situation like this. You go to be a voice for Quentin, and sometimes your emotions may take over, and you may kind of, I mean, that's happened to me here on YouTube. I've had, you know, maybe drama with another creator, and I get out of my character because I'm hurt and I'm in my feelings. And I do something, then I got to come back and say, I'm not too proud of myself in that moment. We all act away when we're emotional. We may act out of line. I don't need to know where the trash bag family is. Why? For that? Why? Let's let the police handle it. Put them in jail forever. Why do we need to know where they are? What is doing? Nothing but drama. Much respect. Thank you so much. Is she on probation? Yes, she is on probation out of North Carolina for larceny. So she was working. She had a job. She lived there at some point, and she stole some money from her employer, and it was felony larceny. So she only stole a small amount of money. It was like $20. But in North Carolina, the laws are very strict on stealing from an employer. So if you steal from an employer, it is felony. It's a felony. It doesn't matter the amount. So she was charged with felony larceny in North Carolina. I don't remember what year this was. Maybe 2019. Maybe 2019. But she was on probation for that, for stealing. And earlier I was saying, you know, she's on probation. She's at a bar drinking. Arrest her on probation violation. Hold her under a probation hold. But that would be true. They would have to extradite her to North Carolina, and that would be a hassle for them. Wasn't she charged when her baby was born on drugs? She was not charged for that. She was not. I think everyone is worried she'll get away like Brian Laundrie did. I think I've seen people say that. I've seen people say this is going to be another Brian Laundrie. She's going to get away, kill herself, or something like that. You know, the DA does make the decision and arrest. My friend is the DA. That's what I thought, Mavis. I thought it was the DA. Everyone coming down hard on the police chief. That's what they need to understand, that the police chief is just following orders that he's been given, you know. Oh, thank you, my love. She might have an opinion y'all don't agree with. She might say something a little crazy at times, but there isn't a better person in the world. I love you. With someone yelling you'll never find him, do you think he may not be in the landfill? I think the police has evidence that points them there. I think that's why they think that he's in the landfill. Because I think they have Leilani on video dumping him into a garbage. That's what we've heard. As a rumor, we've heard that as a rumor. We haven't heard any solid evidence, but they've said in both of the videos, both of the press conferences, we have solid evidence that points us right to that direction. So I I think that's where he's at, but I guess there's a slight possibility maybe, that maybe he's not, and that's why they said that. That would be stupid for them to say that, but somebody did say that. Somebody absolutely did say you'll never find him, which is I would be okay. Come on in for questioning. I think they said it was Leilani's sister that did that. I would bring Leilani in for questioning and say, why did you say that? What do you know? What was the purpose? I don't. To me, these people are not acting like they love Quentin. Billie Joe, how can you be out partying, taking shots with a woman that killed your son, your grandson? You're welcome. If they weren't sure he's there, they wouldn't have set all this up. Yeah, I wouldn't think so. I mean, I think they have some pretty solid evidence that he's there. Prayers for this beautiful boy. Some people don't deserve children. I agree. I absolutely agree. Hopefully they're preparing to pick her up in Georgia. I hope so. Thank you, Sherry. Yeah. Okay, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and close this one out. I'm going to be keeping a very close eye on this topic. Literally all throughout the day, I'm looking for updates. We're only going by a text message screenshot of Billie Joe telling Quentin's past and Dollar's confession truly, unless I miss more. From what's being said is that CCTV cameras got Leilani on camera dumping something in a garbage that morning, the morning of, and waiting to watch the trash truck pick it up that morning. And when you put the other evidence together, Leilani was the one. Oh, King of Crazies. I hope she don't. I hope she does not touch this. But when you think about it, let's be nice. Let's be nice. Even if people have different opinions, let's be nice. I appreciate you guys that like to take up for me. I love that so much. But let's just be nice. So in my opinion, what they're doing is, so 5:30 the message goes out to the babysitter. You're not going to keep Quentin today, right? And it came from the boyfriend's phone. Well, they find out the boyfriend didn't text it. It was Leilani. They talk to neighbors. The neighbors say that Leilani left, right? Leilani left not long after the boyfriend left to go to work and came back right at 9 o'clock. So there's camera footage allegedly where Leilani goes to a garbage can in front of like a trailer park or something along those lines. She goes to a garbage can, dumps something, comes back, texts the babysitter, have you seen Quentin? The babysitter comes down, where's Quentin? Let's look for him. No, don't worry about it. Have you called the cops? No, I haven't called the cops. Allegedly, she waited at that garbage dump until the trash people picked it up and left with it before she even went back home, which would make sense. But the neighbor saying she left right around 6 in the morning, which would be right after Danny left, and then she got back right around 9. So she went there, dumped it, and then as soon as they picked it up, she went home. That way, when they're searching the area, canvassing the neighborhood, they wouldn't find him because he's already in a truck headed to a landfill. My gut says Billie Joe's involved in some way. I think she was out of town working, and she had been for like a week or two. Love you and your videos. You are great. Thank you so much, Joanne. I appreciate that so much. So I hope not, but I do feel like they are. So they took the cell phones of plenty of people involved. I'm assuming that would be Billie Joe as well, that they went through her cell phone. They drained the pool, looked at the pool. They sprayed luminol all over the house. And I think they got this camera footage. So I think they have direct evidence pointing them to, the potential landfill. I don't know why anyone would say you're not going to find the baby unless they just think, listen, days has passed, plenty more trash has been piled on. His body's going to decompose and they'll never find him. I don't know. But I hope and I pray. And every day I'm keeping my eye on this. If they find that baby, you guys, we're going to go live. We're going to go live. If they arrest Leilani, we're going to go live. We're going to talk about it. And as soon as I find out, we're going to go live. Also, new members, be on the lookout for my community tab. As soon as we get off here, I meant to do it last night, but I actually forgot. I forgot to do it last night, but I'm going to get the link to the Discord and post it on my community tab. That way, any of the new members can join that community tab, okay? So give me about 10 minutes. And who said they wouldn't find the baby? They said it was Leilani's sister. Yesterday, when the protesters showed up and they were outside the house chilling, somebody came outside, allegedly Leilani's sister, and said they'll never find Quentin. So please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up on your way out. We have over 500 people in this chat. With only 320 likes, what are we doing, you guys? Let's get it up to as many likes as possible. We'll greatly appreciate it. I'm going to keep a very close eye on this topic. Make sure you are following this YouTube channel. Make sure you have subscribed. Make sure that bell is set to all. Follow me on my other social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. I have accounts. And I always post over there before I go live as well. So that way, if you don't get the notification through YouTube, you may see over on Twitter that I'm going live. That way you can join me in this discussion because I do enjoy having this discussion with you guys. What do we think? What's going to happen? When do we think it's going to happen? And let's pray that they find this baby. And let's pray that we get justice for baby Quentin. I will see you guys. I'm going to be doing a few more live streams today about various other topics. So I'll see you guys on those later. Goodbye, everyone.